on the East Coast, decided to hop on for about, boom, 10 minutes, 9 minutes and 42 seconds left. Just decided to pop on because I wanted to share with you. Well, before I share, I wanted to just ask you the question, what are you going to do for the second half of 2020? What are you going to do for the second half? Here's what's happening with a lot of people. The first half of the year, I don't want to say the first half of the year, the first couple of weeks of the year were so filled with hope. Right? They were filled with anticipation and just, it was great for a lot of people because they said, whoa, 2020 is the year of vision. 2020 is the year of vision, and we're going to see things so clearly in 2020. And I'm not making fun of you. I'm really not, because there's still a lot of people who have the thoughts and the feelings about the year. But then the year kind of took a turn, didn't it? The year kind of started to take there are a lot of different things. I don't even want to recap, but the year has taken a turn and a lot of people have started to feel like, oh my goodness, this year stinks. I've been hearing a lot of this year stinks, and I don't know what are the things that you are experiencing that are going to fix that. But for me, really, the year is a year of perspective. And there's one thing that I'm going to be doing for the rest of the year that I know it's going to make my year even better. To be honest with you, since COVID or since the quarantine has happened, I've struggled to get my schedule back together. I've struggled to get to bed at the time that I need to get to bed and then get up at the time. And my entire calendar has shifted a bit. I've struggled a bit. So one of the big thing that I need to do is get back to what I was doing before. Dr. Bryant says, wrong turn and a gut punch. Yeah, I've got to get back to some things that I was doing before. And here's an example. So several years ago, I was taking a look at my business and how I operated in the business. And I'm a speaker, trainer. I work with a lot of organizations on leadership communication. I work with organizations on figuring out how to present their ideas most effectively and how to do that in a way that connects with the audience. I work with leaders on helping them present their ideas for greater impact and greater influence. Okay. So here's what was happening. I was getting requests for workshops, and as I did them, I was doing these workshops and I, get paid and just running and doing them whenever I could get them. Whenever I could get them, I would do them. And one of the things that I began to realize was that my business wasn't necessarily growing. It was, but it kind of growing a little bit slowly because I was doing things at the pace or at the whim of everyone else. And there was some structure that I was missing. What I realized was I had not created space in my business to strategize and to think and to operationalize some important things. Okay, so I'll say that another way. I had not created a framework for my week. I had not created a framework for my business, and I was not operating by a framework. Right. And so anytime I got something, anytime I got a request, boom, I'm going out the door. I'm doing it. It's on the calendar. Yes, here we go. Send the check. Right. That's how I was operating. But I decided to take on something at the request or as an idea from one of my coaches at the time. And they said to me, what about time blocking? What about time blocking? And I decided that I was going to block my week out. I wish I could show you my wall. I could, but I don't want to take my camera down. I've got some things scheduled, at least generally thematically, for Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Each of the days has a different focus. And my focus for Mondays is strategy, creating content and strategy. So that means that I've got to take that day to map out and plan the week. I've got to get reconnected to the goals and the ideas that I have for my business, and then just focus my tasks, focus my actions that week towards that. I'm not able to do that if I'm speaking or training whenever. So the big shift for me that I made several years ago in my business was that Mondays were the day that I strategized. I met with my team. I meet with my accountability partners, my mastermind. I may do a board meeting, but I do my podcasts on Monday. I create media on Monday afternoons. I create video content. So content and strategy was all that I did on Monday. No workshops, no speeches, no trainings, no client work, just focusing on building and creating and operating and operationalizing a lot of the business ideas. And if I don't have that time to do that, yeah, sure, I could do it on the weekend, but my weekend is the time that I spend with my family, right? The weekend is the time that I spend with my family. And the biggest fear that I had was not being able to separate myself enough to do that, right? Because the fear is that, okay, if you turn down business, then you're going to lose money. You're never going to get it back. And I tell you, the biggest breath that I had to take was the first time that I was approached after I'd made this decision. Hey, Robert, can you do this workshop on this day? And I said no, not because I couldn't do it, but because I'd made a decision not to do it. I'd made a decision to focus differently in business. I made a decision to strategize or to use that day for a specific purpose. And I had to be ruthless about it, because if I was always shifting it around, then I was at everybody else's whim, beck, and call. Right. And if you're doing that, then you're never going to be at a place where you can grow. There's some flags that you've got to plant in your business. There's some flags that you've got to plant in your life. There's some flags, some things that you've got to just kind of stick it in the ground and say, listen, I've got to do it this way, come hell or high water. Right. I've got to do it this way, because if I don't, then I'm just going to be pulled and tugged in every single direction. So I had to create or adopt a framework for my week that I was going to operate by. And that adopting that framework, surprisingly, right? It kind of counterintuitive. Adopting that framework is what allowed me to begin growing even further. Right? Because I had time to create clarity. I had time to create focus. I had time to decide what would work and what I wanted to do and what I didn't want to do. So if I could encourage you, or if I could impart anything to you for the second half of 2020, today's July 1st, 2020, right? If I can impart anything to you for this second half of the year, it's what is that flag that you're going to plant? What is that thing that you need to stick to? What is that thing that you need to time box and be ruthless about? What is that area of your life? What is that area of your business that you need to really look at and say, listen, no matter what people say, no matter what people offer, no matter what people will think, I need to guard and ruthlessly protect this thing. What is that? And what is that thing that when you do that is going to make like a super difference? All right. I don't know what that is for you. I know what it was for me. And that difference was really just having that time to think and create strategy. I use what is called the full focus planner by Michael Hyatt. And I had to get back to just locking myself in to planning and focusing and realigning with my destination. I don't know if that is helpful, beneficial to you. I don't know if that is something that you find valuable, but if it is, then I want to encourage you to implement it. I want to encourage you not to wait until it's perfect. I want to encourage you not to wait until, let me start on a Sunday. I encourage you to look at it, sit down, put some time on your calendar today to think about what it is that you want to focus on, what it is that you want to create, and what it is that you're going to do and what flag you're going to plant, so that the second half of 2020, despite whatever is going on in the world, is even better for you. Okay. And if I can be beneficial, if I can be helpful with that, although I'm not a life coach, although I won't coach you through, or yeah, I won't. I choose not to coach people through therapeutic or personal challenges. What I can help with is the communication aspect of that. How can you decide you're going to framework your presentations? How can you framework your communications? How can you set things aside in such a way, or set things up in such a way that people understand and connect with your message even more effectively? And if you need to set aside or put a flag in learning how to do that better in the second half of 2020, holler. Let me know how I can help you do that. All right. So you can do that either by just instant messaging me, sending a message in the what is it on LinkedIn? In the inbox, right? Whatever it is that you need, let me know, and we'll chat through how to make that work. All right. Or you can visit me on my website, robertkennedy3.com. If you're an organization, corporation looking for training in that area, in the area of communication, in the area of how to deliver and create valuable virtual experiences externally and internally to your organization, feel free to visit me, robertkennedy3.com, or our company website, kineticcommunications.com. And that's with a K, Kinetic Communications. All right. So that's all I've got. It's 12:40 something, y'all. My 10 minutes are up and it's lunchtime. I got to go get some fruits. I'm snacking on cherries and grapes today. All right. Listen, I will see you. Enjoy the rest of your week. Happy hump day, and make the rest of your week phenomenal. I'll see you soon.